So we had the White House Correspondents' dinner the other day. I think it was the first time in a very long time that the president was there. Did Trump ever do it? I don't think he ever did it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I'm pretty sure he didn't do the White House Correspondents' dinner ever. Because, contrary to the idea that he's this macho man who always puts his critics in line, he's actually really thin-skinned and insecure. And it's like when he didn't show, remember that time in 2016 where there was a Republican primary debate and he didn't show up to the debate because Megyn Kelly was going to be there and he was like, she treats me very unfairly. It's like, well, if a lefty was like, I'm not going to go because the questions are too hard, every right-winger would be like, bitch, look at you little bitch. But when Trump did it, he somehow spinned it as like, this is masculine and this is macho. So anyway, Biden goes to this thing. Trevor Noah is the comedian who does the set. Now, look, I got to keep it real. I'm not a big fan of Trevor Noah. I think the post-Jon Stewart Daily Show has largely been a disaster. I think way too often he kind of buys into a lot of the conventional wisdom stuff and standard Democratic politics stuff. It's not really holding powerful people to account. It's more like, I'll just give the Democratic side of the argument. Okay, but I'm going to show you a little clip here. There's a little highlight reel here, and you can go watch the whole thing. There actually are parts of Trevor Noah's set that I thought were genuinely funny and good. That were like, actually going after the powerful, not just doing rah-rah Democratic Party stuff. I mean, I think he said, he had this joke about like, here with the most powerful person in the world, Senator Joe Manchin, where are you? Joe Manchin? So that was one thing he said. He's got a bunch of them. Go watch the whole set if you want to, but I'm going to show you some of the clips here, including Biden roasting himself. Take a look.
I'm really excited to be here tonight with the only group of Americans with a lower approval rating than I have. This is the first time the president attended this dinner in 6 years. It's understandable. We had a horrible plague followed by 2 years of COVID. But Republicans seem to support one fella, some guy named Brandon. He's having a really good year, and I'm kind of happy for him.
Yeah, because these people have been so hard on you, which I don't get. I really don't. I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
Of all this taking place with disinformation massively on the rise, where the truth is buried by lies and the lies live on as truth. What's clear, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that you, the free press, matter more than you ever did in the last century.
The reason we're here is to honor and celebrate the Fourth Estate and what you stand for, an additional check and balance that holds power to account and gives voice to those who otherwise wouldn't have one. Every single one of you, whether you like it or not, is a bastion of democracy. And if you ever begin to doubt your responsibilities, if you ever begin to doubt how meaningful it is, look no further than what's happening in Ukraine. Look at what's happening there. Journalists are risking and even losing their lives to show the world what's really happening. You realize how amazing it is. Like, in America, you have the right to seek the truth and speak the truth.
Ask Julian Assange about that one. That is not true across the board. Ask Edward Snowden about that. Ask Julian Assange about that. Obama famously had his war on whistleblowers. It's just not accurate, especially now with social media censorship as well. It's like, you have the ability to seek the truth. It's like, well, there are some crackpots out there who are wrong about virtually everything, but they might genuinely think they're seeking the truth, and they could be banned. Again, I hate to bring it up again, but it's just such a clear example. The Hunter Biden laptop story was verified later on, but at the time, leading up to the election, the New York Post was banned from Twitter for releasing it, and you couldn't even DM the story to other people. So this idea is not exactly accurate. So first, let me get out of the way the smug stuff that I did not like, and then we'll come back again to some other parts that I did like. Biden was saying, quote, "What's clear is that you, the free press, matter more than you ever did." And he talks about, it's hard to separate truth from lies and lies from truth and all this stuff. Here's why this annoys me. It's not that those words aren't correct. It is true that we need a free press more than ever, and they need to hold powerful people accountable. But the problem with the White House Correspondents Center is that it's this cesspool of nepotism and corruption and conflicts of interest. So these are the same people who are supposed to be aggressive against the powerful and supposed to expose the wrongdoings of the powerful. But they're in a room together, celebrating, rubbing elbows, drinking together, giggling and laughing. Those personal relationships can cloud their professional judgment. And that's oftentimes what happens. And, we've seen this 1,000 times over. Somebody in an intelligence agency leaks a story to a major outlet, and they run it uncritically and report it as if the thing the intelligence agent was saying is just factual. Well, no, those things actually need to be fact-checked. And those things need to be, scrutinized, because they have their own biases. They have their own idea about how the world should work, and they're pushing a particular narrative. And this is, look, keep it real. That's kind of how state media functions. Corporate media functions like state media. Fox News is the propaganda arm of the Republican Party. CNN and MSNBC are the propaganda arms of the Democratic Party. That's how it works. And so for Biden to say the things he's saying, it's more like he's arguing that the CNNs and the MSNBCs are more important than ever, and they're the bastion of democracy. And then Trevor Noah goes out and says a bunch of similar smug things. Every one of you is a bastion of democracy. And it's just, I wish they were, but they don't really do their job well. There's so many biases that are part of corporate media and the way they function. And it's not like nefarious. It's just that the way the system works, the people who get the promotions and who end up on TV are the people who serve power. Like I said, CNN, MSNBC, it's the Democratic Party. Fox News, it's the Republican Party. All of them have a pro-establishment bias in the sense that they listen to the intelligence agencies and regurgitate whatever they say. They're stenographers to the powerful. There's also a sensationalism bias as well. Whatever gets the clicks, even if it's not important, might be right alongside stories that are important. So there's just a whole bunch of problems. And it's a big club. You could see it's a big club, which is why they're together. I never liked the idea of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, ever. Because you're not going to hold these people accountable if you view yourself as in that club and they're in your crew. It's just not going to happen. And that's why it's always good to have a little bit of distance between the powerful and the media. You want them to look at them in an adversarial kind of way. You don't want them to make stuff up against the powerful. You want them to report on facts, give news and information. But you're unlikely to do critical stuff if you are in the same room and part of the same social group, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so, but now let's go back to, I think, a bunch of good jokes. He said the media, basically like the media is the only group of people in the country more unpopular than me. True. I think that's a funny joke. Look, and I'm not, I almost have like a principled stance against joke policing because it's so cringe. It's like, who cares? People are joking. Very rarely are there instances where I'm like, actually like, I know it's a joke, but goddamn. Like, remember when Bush did the whole, where are the weapons of mass destruction? Are they under here? Are they over there? And everybody's like, ha 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 ha, massacring Iraqi babies, yes! Ha ha ha! That was one example of like, I'm not a joke police guy, but goddamn, you're testing me. It was actually a good line about the media's, more unpopular than me, but it is also like, you could fix that, right? Like, you could just abolish student loan debt, legalize marijuana. There's so many things you could do through executive order that would immediately make your approval rating shoot up at least 5 points. That's a super conservative number to say it's going to kick up 5 points if you do those things. I like the joke about Republicans seem to support one guy named Brandon. He's having a great year. That's, wink and a nod. He's in on the whole let's go Brandon thing. Trevor Noah's joke of things are up, looking up since you got in office. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up. That's a good joke too. And then there was one I didn't have here, but I really liked as well, where Trevor Noah says, Jill Biden is the first lady to ever work while she's first lady. She kept her job as a teacher. But the reason why she's doing that is because she's still paying off her student loans. So Jill should have voted for Bernie Sanders. So I thought that was a good joke too. Overall, I didn't watch the whole set, but I've seen a bunch of little pieces here and there, and same with Biden. Some of the stuff was genuinely funny, but I will say my bigger conclusion is I don't like, even though it's good spectacle and it's fun to watch, having the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I don't think is good. I think it's actually terrible for the country. And I think it exacerbates some of the biggest flaws and problems with media, and I really don't think they should do it anymore. I think if you are the fourth estate, if you are the media, you have a very serious job. And it's to get people facts and information. It's to be adversarial to power and expose the wrongdoing on behalf of the people. And that's just not how they view their jobs. And it's very obvious. This is why the media does have a super low approval rating. You know, I think the media is a little more liked than Congress, but they're both very disliked. So there you have it. But at the end of the day, it was kind of funny to see Biden roasting himself. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.